So there's like this inverse relationship between
Right.
the amount of effort put into the front end of all of these different processes and operations and what it takes on the back end. Hey, we're live.
And we're back for a playbook.
Previously recorded live.
So there was a theme today, Craig. We are at the end of our day.
Yeah. Little puckered. Is it puckered or tuckered? Tuckered.
Tuckered. What do you
Puckered. I don't know. I want to go home again.
like? You're gonna kiss something?
Yeah.
You're puckered up.
I'm tuckered out.
Yes, we are. It's been a long one, but this thing that somebody said the other day kept getting brought up today, which is what? Don't make a joke. Is
I'm too puckered out.
if it's easy on the front end, it's hard on the back end, and if it's hard on the front end, it's easy on the back end. So
Now, it does seem like there's a joke there.
It might be, but here's the thing, and this kept getting brought up in different situations, and the question is, how hard is being an insurance agency owner?
Yeah.
And I think that
if you're going to connect the dots between that and that, let's see you do it.
Yeah. So it really has to do, because some people think it is hard and some people think it's easy.
Yep.
I would say the number one piece of advice with owning your own insurance agency is putting in the time to create the processes to make it easy. Make it hard on the front end. Make it like it's going to be difficult to set up processes, right? It stinks to write down this stuff for the most important processes in your agency. You got to think about it. It takes time. You got to write it down. You got to train.
Right. And most of us are sales guys, high D, high I, don't want to do any of that crap, right?
Right. Yep. And those are different parts of the disc profile. Highly recommended if you don't know what the disc profile is to
Google it.
It's a great assessment to use. But yeah, so putting in that time and it's difficult to do for the whole agency. I didn't do it at first. So I was constantly putting out fires and trying to do stuff and stuff like that. And when you spend the extra time, so you're in that moment of spending way too much time at the beginning, right? Then you also have to spend additional side time to create the systems and processes, right? But then once you're done with that and you implement them, it eliminates the all the fires and all the stuff that is very difficult.
100%.
Yeah. So it's just funny. Like, how hard is it to be an insurance agent?
Well,
as hard as you want it to be.
Yeah. As hard as you want or need it to be. What we could do if you do spend that time, it's easy, right? You flip it. You don't spend any time. You just kind of run at it, or somewhere in the middle, you're going to get those mediocre results and you're going to have mediocre fires. So there's like this inverse relationship between the amount of effort put into the front end of all of these different processes and operations and what it takes on the back end.
And it's funny too, because when you first start, like I think about my first year in the business, it would have been very to compare. It was pretty easy at first in the sense where there wasn't much to do except to talk to people, but it really stacks up. Like by month, the first few days was difficult because you're setting up the systems, and then after a few weeks or maybe a month or something like that, it starts getting easier, and you're like, okay, and you're putting out daily fires and stuff. But it really stacks on you. Like 6 months go by, a year goes by of doing that grind every single day, and you get tired and you get sick of it, and it becomes not fun on the daily. It becomes that thing where it's like, I don't want to go into work. So I mean, if you feel that way, and I know I have, it usually means, hey, we got to put some systems and processes into place so I don't feel like that every single day.
Well, yeah, you come to it 100% going, 110 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And that's just not sustainable.
It's not.
No matter how hard you can work, no matter 14-hour days forever is not sustainable. Like that shouldn't be the end goal.
Right.
It's okay. I'm going to build it. I'm going to sell it, or I'm going to put somebody in there that's going to run it. What am I going to do? I guess you need to look also at what's the goal.
Right.
Right. And that's going to define how hard it's going to be to run the agency too. Because, my goal is to build to X and then sell it for X. All right, great. Now let's work backwards, create the processes. Because remember Laura Harris talking about you can't scale chaos, right?
Right.
If it's a chaos, because chaos is fine when it's small. When you got 5 clients, big deal. Who cares? It can be loosey goosey. But as soon as there's a bucket full, it starts getting crazy.
Yeah.
Just like one kid was easy, then I added a second, then it got double as hard. You added 2 more. That's now all of a sudden an insane asylum.
It multiplies. Yeah.
Yeah. Exponentially.
Ugh. But yeah, I mean, I think, it doesn't matter where you're at in this. And if you have a ton of energy going into it, we're in this culture right now where it's like super, not only acceptable to hustle, but like encouraged, like, dude, you got to hustle 24 hours a day, and which is cool, but it's not sustainable. There's this finite amount of time. So every day that you're doing that is cool. And you should be out of balance at different points in your life. That's how you create leverage, is by being out of balance. You can't be in balance your whole life and create leverage. It's just not going to happen. Any high achiever,
if you want to square it, take a lot of leaps. So
with that, just know that, like, hey, you got the energy now. It's not going to last forever. So spend that extra energy to create systems and processes so that you don't have to do that in the future.
Right.
You got to have the end goal of not doing that. Hard on the front, make it hard on the front.
Because it's unsustainable to have it.
Yeah, because it'll be easy in the back rather than make it easy in the front, because it's going to be very difficult in the back.
Yep.
And that's a playbook.
It is a playbook.